No courts, no halls, lockdown, you want to train and practice but you can't? No problem, so here's some furry friends to help you train indoors in your own home. One of the most effective badminton practice routine is to hit the shuttle towards the wall and react to it. So this practice routine allows you to practice and train your grip changes, gripping timing and power whilst getting very comfortable with short, sharp changes of direction to improve your racket handling. However, if you don't have something like a solid brick wall, chances are you're going to cause some light cosmetic damage onto your wall, as the corks on the badminton shuttles are really hard. Additionally, you do ruin the shuttles you hit against the wall, especially when it gets really intense and fast. So these are Hecsballs, and they allow you to be able to practice and train certain shots in your own home. So essentially they're your fluffy best friends, and they replace the shuttle in this instance, allowing you to replicate this routine even indoors inside your house. They will also stop you causing damage to your walls. So the pack that I have here contains 3 balls of different sizes. Each size actually correspond to a different bounce and speed. So they look like they're made of some kind of thread, which is kind of similar to what we have in fluffy carpets, and they're wrapped around each ball. They're also super light, with the small and medium ball weighing only 5 grams and the big ball 6 grams. So very similar weight to a feather shuttlecock. The smallest ball is blue, and it's the bounciest and the quickest amongst them 3. The light brown ball is the medium, where it has medium bounce and speed. And finally the dark brown ball is the slowest and least bouncy. So by varying the speed and bounciness of the balls, you can practice different routines and different shots at home. And you also get this card along with you with some simple instructions on how to look after the balls. They also give you some basic tips on what to do to practice, so it's all pretty neat. So I pushed some things around the house and made some space for myself, and I stood around 5 to 6 feet away from the wall and did some hitting. So it's said to play on smooth walls, but the wallpapers around my house has plenty of texture and is quite rough, but it turned out okay after a few hours of hitting over 2 weeks, as you can see here. So the small and fast ball does bounce off the walls quite similarly like a squash ball, but the medium and slow balls do need a bit of pace to come off the walls with the same distance, so it's good for finger gripping power and timing. So these are some of the routines I did. Start by hitting against the wall, focusing on a relaxed grip and reacting just to the ball. Start with the fastest and smallest ball and then move on to the medium and slow ball before going back to the fastest ball to get myself readjusted with the timing again. You can also repeat the same exercise while trying to alternate between forehand and backhand grips between each shot. I then measured and placed some tape on my wall to show where the net line is, and try and push or cut the balls at net height. So you can use the slow and medium balls for this exercise, which is pretty good. So for a more basic exercise, you can do keepy uppies with all 3 balls, although the fast ball does react differently sometimes as it's not entirely round, so it's actually quite good practice. Start by maintaining a forehand grip only or a backhand grip only before trying to alternate in between them. I also tried to use this as a practice for spinning net shots using racket movements, focusing on finger and wrist action. So I try and keep the balls spinning on the forehand side before going on to the backhand side, and ultimately you can always try and alternate between the forehand and backhand spinning sides. So remember, the focus is always on the finger and wrist movement here. You can also practice racket movement and control, which are similar to catching a shuttle mid-air. It's just simple racket and grip control, focusing on the use of your fingers and turning your racket grip. So you can do this on the forehand side and the backhand side of things before alternating. The hall I play in most regularly has a very nice paint job on its walls, and I'm sure shuttles will cause damage onto the paint job of the walls if we hit them there. So these Hecsballs are actually an amazing alternative for me. I was also quite impressed with the durability of the balls so far. So all the footages and images that you see here are after actually a few hours of hitting cumulatively, as well as no damage onto my strings and wall at the same time. So if you're like me, who's been in lockdown and haven't seen a badminton court for months, this will be something you'll enjoy to have and be able to at least get some form of hitting with your racket inside your house. So check out my other badminton how-to videos here. Happy hitting, and I will see you in the next one.